It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
Where will we go next? It's a phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Mulder.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Off the top, it's all staying in. Hey everybody, and welcome to Cryptid Campfire. My name is Alex Daikaiju. To my left is
Jasmine with.
And across from us,
Eli Watson.
and we want to welcome you to a really interesting episode of Cryptid Campfire today. We're talking about
Pope Lick.
Pope Lick Monster, aka Goatman, aka Lake Woods Monster, aka he's got a heck ton of names and he's all over a bunch of states.
Yep, but before that, you may have known him in a movie known as Mr. Tumnus in The Lion, the Lich, and the Wardrobe, portrayed by James McAvoy.
Is that James McAvoy?
That's James
It is.
McAvoy.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Your
Mr.
mind's blown, right?
The Beast is coming!
Is that one of his personalities in Split?
Something like that.
He puts on a big scarf and just starts leading children into wardrobes, etc., etc. It's gonna be a good episode. Jasmine's already keeled over from laughter,
Yep.
and we're not even like 5 minutes in yet.
Mr.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright,
Well,
we're good?
Oh, it's so warm, dude. What the?
Here we go.
All right.
Goatman.
Alright.
As you can guess, half goat, half man, different parts of his body.
Also part sheep.
Part sheep.
Part sheep.
He's even got fur and scales sometimes. Yeah. We'll get into it, but
So we're going to talk about, I think, 3, maybe 4 main states that this creature's been sighted in. And I'm going to list those off real quick because I learned something new this week when I was doing this research. And let me tell you a little bit about geography.
heck yeah.
We've got Kentucky.
Mhm.
We've got Pope Lick Monster in Louisville, Kentucky. So that's one we'll hit. We've got the Goatman of Texas, Lake Worth Monster, Lake Worth, Texas, United States. We've also got the Goatman from Maryland, which is haunting the woods of Prince George's County in Maryland. And fun fact, this borders the eastern portion of Washington, D.C., which apparently Washington, D.C. is not in a state.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
you didn't know that?
It's not in a state.
Oh.
It's its own thing. I felt so stupid when I was looking this up
Wait,
because
wait.
yes, I know. Washington, D.C. is not in a state. It is its own distinct federal district using land donated by Maryland and Virginia.
Because they couldn't decide who wanted to have the Capitol building.
Yeah.
So they decided, let's not put it in any state. We'll just put it in its own area.
Whoa.
I felt
You didn't
so,
know that either, Alex?
I felt
What?
I felt
I learned this
so
in like
stupid.
5th grade.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, I knew Washington,
be so
D.C.
loud.
Here's one thing I did know. Washington, D.C. is not in Washington State. I knew that. I knew it was on the East Coast. But I didn't know what state it was in. And when I literally Googled, because I was trying to figure out the geography, because it mentioned Washington, D.C., and I wanted to make sure I was reading about the right monster. So it's like, okay, where's Washington, D.C.? What state is it in? It's not in a state! Okay, that's the fun fact that Jasmine learned this week.
That blew my mind. I didn't know that.
I can't believe you got...
Yeah,
I know.
I don't know
I feel like the
geography.
smartest person in the room.
I'm
right
telling
now.
you, every episode we've ever done, I'm not good with geography. History was not my strong subject when I was in school. It just wasn't.
Two different subjects.
They're similar.
It's all relative.
There's a lot of there's a lot of geography.
It's electrochemical.
There's a lot of geography within history.
Hey, the behind the scenes fact: we lost an hour because of daylight savings time.
Yeah.
And then we decided to meet up an hour early, so everything. I'm feeling more combative today.
We're feeling a little weird. Our thetans are off today.
the sun is still up in the sky.
The sun god.
Eli apparently doesn't like the light. But anyways, I had I'll be honest, I had a little bit of a hard time tracking down any actual sightings of these creatures, because all of the articles say things like, there have been numerous sightings, but I can't actually find any stories or first-person experiences.
I found a website that was like, 10 totally true Goatman sightings with photos. Check it out. I was like, okay.
Frodo.
Photos. We were talking about The Hobbit earlier, so it's got Frodo's in it. And it was like, number 1, somebody was attacked in the woods. And then it was just a picture from DeviantArt of like a Minotaur.
Yeah,
I was like,
saw
okay, what is this? So that all the sightings are kind of taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But
So which one do you guys want to hit first?
Let's hit Kentucky.
yeah,
'cause
let's
it's
go
got-
Kentucky.
My father grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. I've been to Louisville, Kentucky multiple times.
You have?
I have.
You saw a Goatman? You saw the Popelic monster?
Yeah,
How
I saw
many
it.
did you see?
I saw 6 of them.
How were they?
They were friendly for the most part.
Did they give you baked goods?
No.
Okay, good.
They
Because they would have
turned
had
my
hair in them.
They turned my dog into baked goods.
Too soon.
Well,
Not soon enough.
basically, the reason I know about Goatman is because my dad told me about Goatman.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, he was referring to Popelic monster.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, a few states have their own Goatman, and they each have their own names, and
Right.
so
The Popelic name comes from Popelic Creek, so it's not just a weird like this. There's a reason it's called this weird name.
he apparently lives under like a railroad bridge that goes over Popelic Creek in Fisherville town of Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville. Okay.
Huh?
There's so many different pronunciations of Louisville.
Louisville. That's the proper name.
I don't know. I don't know how you say
That's
it.
when you're in a fancy party. Louisville. Did you guys get the history of it?
I got like multiple histories.
Yeah,
I got Circus Freak. I got.
Whoa! Circus freak. That just
We'll
escaped.
go into it. I'm trying to tell you the numerous. We got Circus Freak.
Bagel.
We got a reincarnation of a farmer who sacrificed goats in exchange for satanic powers.
Yeah.
We got the product of a sexual relationship between a farmer and one of his sheep. So those are. There's a lot going on, but
the
I
ducky
think
from Kentucky.
I think the most relevant one is the Circus Freak.
Yeah, that seems to
story.
be the most fleshed out one.
Yeah.
What I got is the story begins with one Colonel Beauregard Schildknecht, who was a veteran, I believe, from the Civil War, maybe time frame.
From the Silver War?
Yeah. He was a ringmaster of a traveling circus that went through the heartland in the deep south in the 1930s. So probably would have been World War One veteran.
I don't think he was actually a veteran. I think he
Yeah.
just liked to call himself
The
Colonel.
Colonel.
Part of the show.
Yeah. Same with Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
But he was a liar, a cheat, and an overall dickhead.
Yep.
And he had a crew of clowns and freaks that were just as bad. And I guess every town they visited tend to have thefts, missing people, and even deaths.
Except for Goatman. Goatman had a heart of gold.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
And then that's why when the train just got derailed on the trestle, he was the only one who escaped.
Because he had a heart of gold.
And
It was 7 pounds,
then
2
decided
ounces.
to take out all of his misery and his sorrow from being abused by all these people, that to just start hunting down teenagers with
But
an
where did
axe.
this Goatman come from?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I think you're reading from the same site that I may have taken a look at, and this website was for a haunted attraction. So there's a possibility that they may have taken creative liberties with it.
I was going to leave that part out.
We gotta cite our sources, man.
I mean, half my sources
We gotta
are
let
like,
them know.
are from like country haunts that use Goatman.
Well-
and I found one website that was defunct from 2011, and it said, "Hey everybody, we're sorry, we will not be making it to 2011's Halloween haunt. And 2012 is canceled as well. Thank you for your patronage." And under info and contacts, it said, "To be determined."
Well,
So that's a lot of my info comes from a defunct website from 2011.
so some of this may be fictional, but it is based
It's
supposedly
entertaining, yeah.
in history.
Where
continue.
did Goatman come from?
So this is interesting. So one stormy night, the circus had stopped in Beltsville, Maryland. And Madame Bristeles.
Madame Zeroni?
No, Bristeles. Is that from Holes?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
With Gus from Psych in it.
Yeah.
She was a bearded lady. She found a malformed infant outside her little traveling tent. It was had small horns and cloven feet, and she took it in to shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ringmaster found it, captured it, and put it in a cage, thinking that when it grew up, it'd be a good sideshow attraction. Attraction.
I'm so hot. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I thought you farted. So
Yeah.
I know it looked like.
Yeah,
I'm
either
sorry.
like opened the door and started waving his hand, or like, oh boy,
I need the air.
this episode just took a turn. But yeah, so they kept it in a cage. They abused it, beat it up, called it names, gave it kale salad when it asked for romaine. It was real rough. But then one night, the train that was traveling the circus, either the bridge collapsed or it was derailed by rain.
Lightning
Ooh.
Lightning struck.
Way
the
cooler.
tracks.
Yeah,
Heck
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Michael Bay style.
I think we're just all adding our own.
We're not. I read this.
Oh well, at least I'm adding the part where he had a heart of gold.
Lightning struck the train tracks, which made the train derail, and some people got hurt, but the Goatman survived, and he ran away. And now, because of his tortured past, he likes to kill people. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It's a good release, you know? Mm-hmm. I recommend.
He escaped after the train derailed. And so now the monster wants to trick you into coming close.
Oh, yeah.
So that it can kill you.
Through
apparently, apparently there's a lot of different ways that he can, like, lure you in.
He has the voice of an angel.
Not the voice of an angel, but he has the ability
he has a kiss from a rose.
to mimic voices. So he can use hypnosis, voice mimicry. He jumps down from the trestle onto the roofs of cars, passing beneath it. He wields an axe.
Yeah, apparently he has an axe too.
I don't know where that came from. Do not know where that came from.
He used it to kill P.T. Barnum or whatever.
Leave Hugh Jackman out of this.
He killed the Greatest Showman. That's how it ends, with him being murdered by a goat man. But yeah, so you have the 7-foot tall, half man, half goat, half sheep thing. Apparently can mimic people's voices. It can use hypnosis, but for good measure, it also has a giant axe.
Yep.
And you know what's crazy? So he lives under this bridge, and there's a misconception that the bridge is like abandoned.
Yeah,
or
it's used.
Yeah, it's like heavily used. It get used several times a day with trains. And there was actually a death of this girl, this lady
from Ohio.
Yeah, an Ohio woman who was 26 years old. On April 23rd, 2016.
That's today.
With somebody from Ohio.
Listen, guys. She's a real person.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, her and her boyfriend were actually in Kentucky for a ghost hunters event of a local sanitarium.
Yeah,
but
Waverly Hills.
But it didn't start till 10 o'clock p.m., so they had some time to kill, so they went to go look for the Goatman. So they're up on the bridge walking around. And the train was coming, and he actually jumped on the side and held, and she got hit by the train.
Yeah.
And unfortunately passed away. But it's crazy because I assume they were like, oh, it's Goatman. The bridge is probably collapsed or abandoned because, like, you know, you'd see this thing if it was heavily used. But unfortunately, so there's an actual confirmed death attributed to Goatman in a more like kind of.
It's a bit of a
foolhardy kind of way.
It's really sad.
Always be safe if you do go ghost hunting. Like, know the local history of where you're going. Know the places. Like, not everything's abandoned that's haunted.
Yeah.
Right. I read that they like closed off that area for legend tripping. Mm-hmm. So like, it sounds like when I read that, I thought that meant like people go up there and start tripping on drugs. But apparently, that's not what that means.
They lick toads.
That's like when people go up there to go look for stuff probably because of that incident. Mm-hmm. So,
But did you guys? So I was looking.
I have another set of murders, a huge murder spree attributed to Goatman.
Yeah.
In Kentucky?
Yeah. I don't. You guys didn't.
Is
Get
it 14?
Is it?
It's 1960s, Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
14 hikers were supposedly killed by the Goatman. 12 of them kids and 2 adults.
Were they
and
like
then,
Boy Scouts or something maybe?
I'm not sure. I think it was mixed, but there was a survivor who ran away, and he was saying that they were hiking up in the wilderness, and of course this source is anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
He says they were hiking in the woods and they got too close to this cave, which turned out to be Goatman's cave, and he just came out with his axe and started hacking away at everybody, and he ran away, and when the police arrived, they found partially eaten limbs and a bloody trail leading inside the cave. But of course that's like there's some speculation as to that might be fake because there's no real
confirmed.
Yeah, from the 60s.
There's no actually confirmed, like none of this is confirmed at all.
Yeah.
Like that's what's interesting about this specific legend is, you know, when we talk about certain cryptids, there's usually some eyewitness who like has a name and has a story and like it's connected to actual news. This one doesn't really have that. At least the one in Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, because I was looking research and, you know, there's the reports of like 14 people killed, the hikers. One thing I read said the Courier Journal, which is, I guess, the Kentucky newspaper, it records 2 confirmed deaths to Goatman in 1987 and 1988. But I tried looking up through the archives and stuff. I couldn't find any articles other than in 1988 it said Goatman wanders the land, and it was about this guy who would just have a cart drawn by goats and would travel around. And I guess he was just some homeless guy who just traveled by goats.
I heard that he was studying goats for a goat hunting trip.
Yeah?
Yeah, so he was like running around with these goats, pretending to be a goat. So then when he went to go
Oh,
hunt
no,
the
that's a
goats-
different guy.
Oh, it's a different guy.
Oh, yeah, and there's also this guy came up who spent like a few days dressed as a goat living on the mountains with goats.
Yeah.
Just to see what it was like. He was just checking them out, like, I don't know, maybe...
In all forms except physical, I am a goat.
Yeah, you know, what the heck.
Repurposed the meme. All right, so...
Satanists do worship this monster,
Baphomet?
though. Yeah, that. Because they see him as this actual demon.
Do you want to live deliciously?
Oh.
What?
That's from The Witch.
What's happening?
That's the new M&M's commercial.
I'm so... There's so much happening today.
We're like in a tizzy right now because the sun's still out. It's only like 5 something, and we're trying to talk about Goatman. Our schedules are off, but continuing, I think we're done with the Kentucky.
Well, I just wanted to throw one more
continue.
fun fact in there. So, like, we keep talking about this bridge, this train track trestle. This thing is 742 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Tall?
I don't think it's that tall.
I think it's wide.
I think that's how long
Length.
it is.
It's
Oh yeah, it's
big-ass train.
to cross. So
It covers a small lake, but it's like...
there's this idea that if you want to summon the Goatman, that you have to step on the train tracks or cross the bridge. So that's why. Oops, I just bumped
Oh,
your
my
mic.
goodness.
I'm so sorry.
Jasmine's trying to take me
Oh,
out.
shit. Now we gotta start over.
No.
Oh, no.
But that's why people find themselves on the bridge, because this legend says that you have to be on the bridge in order to summon it. But don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, people. This is dangerous.
Summon the goat.
And if you see a post saying to summon the Goatman, please present your parents' credit card numbers and the last 3 digits on the back. Do not fall for it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. But I think that's we're gonna leave Kentucky.
Do we want to travel south to Texas? Or do we want to make a stop in Maryland?
Well, no. Well, you already spoiled, so we're going to Texas.
Going to Texas.
What did I spoil?
You spoiled Texas.
I said that we were going to Texas. At the beginning of this, I said the 3 states we're going to visit.
Too late. Mr. Tumnus in Texas. All right, what's going on? Apparently, he throws tires at people.
Yeah.
The town of Denton.
Denton. Oh man, let me tell you about Denton.
For some reason, I can't find it. Oh, okay, here we go.
All right. What you guys got for old Texas?
So we've got another bridge.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bridge between. It's called the Old Alton Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It was an iron truss span that once connected Denton, Texas, to Copper Canyon. Many who've crossed at night have claimed to have seen the demonic figure of a man with a goat's head waiting for them at the other side. But
Could have been a crackhead.
Bridges are important for this because they are commonly known to act as gateways to other realms. So that's kind of why there's this belief that
Wait, bridges are?
Yeah.
It's crazy too because it's like old school fairy tales too. Because like Billy Goat's Gruff, to where they're trying to cross the bridge and the troll won't let them. But this time the goats have turned the tables and they live under the bridge and they attack us with hatchets.
And we're the trolls.
Yeah. Deep down we all are.
So this guy, he's got a lot of possible origins as well.
Yeah, this one's pretty wild.
Okay, apparently
Single.
I get absolutely nothing on this one. So
Why?
I have, this is exact, I'm going to read you my entire notes on this.
All right,
dear.
here we go.
I have Lake Worth monster, same sack of shit, supposedly jumped on someone's car, ate a bag of bagels, threw a tire at a group of people, and that's all I have.
Yeah.
You wrote?
I didn't get the bagel part.
Mm.
You didn't? I'm joking.
He ate a bag of bagels with no cream cheese.
It's
That's what
literally-
made him
it's
the real monster.
It's literally in there if you think I'm lying.
Well,
School me.
this is where we get the scales.
Okay.
Because he's described as a half man, half goat with fur and scales, sometimes reddish hair. And he pretty much only showed up, from what I can tell, July 1969.
I didn't even get any dates.
Whoa,
for
that's
this.
when we landed on the moon.
Yeah.
We went to
Gargoyle?
We were trying to call it.
69.
Oh, what?
Sorry,
Huh?
I'm singing that song from
Well,
Even Stevens.
you're making the 69 jokes.
Yeah.
No, we
Jasmine.
went to the moon in 1969, not 1970, but a year sooner. Did any of you watch the Disney Channel when you were younger? Actually, Eli's much younger than us, so he probably
I
I
missed
watched
that
Kim
one.
Possible.
I did, but I don't remember much of Even Stevens.
It was the musical episode.
I do not remember that.
That's a shame.
But yeah, if you guys have Disney Channel, go watch Steven Stevens.
It's not on anymore.
Oh, well then you know what? You're all missing out. Go on YouTube. Yeah, I have July 1969 is when he reportedly landed on a man's car for jumping out of a tree, and one time he threw a tire at a group of people.
Yeah.
But and what I found is 4 decades later, everyone who was involved is under the impression that it was probably a hoax. But then,
Cool.
Imagine if that tire hit somebody in the head. Just like, everyone's just chilling,
Yeah.
drinking a beer, and then this tire flies out of the dark, just hits them in the
hits
head.
someone in the head, bounces in the air, and they're like, "What the heck?" And they look over, and it's just a big goat. It's like, "Hey, bruv, I fixed your tire for you." But I'll read out the silly notes about the tire, and then maybe we can go into.
There's notes about the tire?
Yeah. So in 2005, the Fort Worth Star Telegram received an anonymous letter claiming 3 high school students in 1969 decided to go out to Lake Fort Worth and scare a couple people using apparently a tinfoil mask.
Okay.
So, I guess, you know, a teenager in a tinfoil mask jumped on someone's car and they thought it was a goat man. And then in 2009, an unidentified man took responsibility for the tire throwing.
This is insane.
Yeah.
There is no validity to any Goatman stories whatsoever. None of these ghost stories are based in any historical facts whatsoever.
For my research, I went Kentucky, Maryland, and then Texas, and it just became
It is
progressively downhill.
Yeah.
Because in Kentucky, it's like, Goatman, he ate 14 people, and this and that. In Maryland, you know, there's a few, like, he attacked a dog. Texas, threw a tire at somebody.
I didn't even get that. I don't even know what
What
he's
is
telling
happening?
A
me.
bunch of like King of the Hill dudes.
Yeah.
Just like,
The only thing I
That's
read...
a nice goat, man, I'll tell you what.
The only thing I read for Texas was that some locals have claimed to see glowing eyes staring at them while on the bridge, while others have claimed to hear splashing in the creek directly below, followed by unsettling laughter. There's this rumor that if you knock on the bridge 3 times, the Goatman will show up.
Field trip.
No.
Did you get the other stories, the backstories of Goatman?
Yeah.
About, do you want to say about the farmer?
I don't actually, because it's so dark.
Yeah, alright.
It's really
You didn't
bad.
get any of this, right, Eli?
No.
Alright,
I'm in for a ride.
He's going to tell you one of the origin stories, the possible origin stories.
Yeah. Alright.
So first of all, wait, before you tell this, the most commonly held belief of the Goatman in Texas is that it is a demon. Like, Satanists opened up a portal on this bridge, and this demon now haunts the bridge.
And
but
throws tires at people.
But there's also this story.
Alright, so this one, and this is, quote-unquote, the most circulated version of the Goatman tale. There was an African-American entrepreneur named Oscar Washburn and his family who tended a goat farm near the renowned bridge, and they're famous for their hides and cheeses and milks and meat. He apparently even put a sign by the bridge that says, "This way to the Goatman," because that's what he's most famous for. And apparently the KKK did not like that. They got real pissed off, and in the late 1930s, a lynch mob stormed the farm, grabbed poor Oscar but with a noose and hung him.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they threw him off like a side of a cliff, and when they went down to the edge, it was empty.
Yeah,
there was no body. His body was
gone.
And so they were so freaked out that they ran back to the farm and killed his entire family.
Oh.
And the story now is that he's a vengeful spirit that throws tires at people from the bridge.
However, there is no historical record of this person ever actually existing.
Yeah, and it's a big leap from like a poor guy who tends goats who was murdered to turning into like a demon that like attacks people.
I don't know. Texas is the Wild West.
Yeah.
So I don't know. History's
what you make it.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah. But that's one of the versions, and the other one's like even more crazy. As we talked about, the knock on the steel bridge to summon them. There's another variation that goes all the way back to 1860.
Going back to 1869.
And it's called Texas Troubles. And apparently some cowboys lynched a poor Creole slave goat herder named Jack Kendall.
Oh.
But apparently they were so inept at doing the noose that it took his head off.
Oh.
But when they were looking at the headless body, apparently it stood up, animated by voodoo, my article says, ripped off the head of a nearby goat to replace the head that was taken. And apparently his old head was still hanging in the noose.
Oh, God.
While all this was happening. But apparently, regardless of what origin gets told, old-timers warn that knocking 3 times on the bridge is an invitation to judgment, especially if you have slave owner or Klansman blood in your family.
Uh-oh.
So I like to think that the Goatman's out there attacking racist people.
That would be nice.
Fighting for equality. So yeah,
that's Texas for you.
It's a nice crazy turn. But yeah, man, Texas Goatman throwing tires at people and may or may not be a child in a tinfoil mask.
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to know more about this man who claimed to throw the tire.
Yeah. It's great too, because like all this, I went to the Wikipedia page for Texas, and it's like 1969, it jumped on a car and threw a tire.
Wikipedia.
4 decades later, an anonymous letter said that it was just teenagers and an unidentified man who threw a tire. And I was like, oh, all right, this is lame. And then I looked up a different article, and it's like, he may be a guy who was murdered by the KKK.
Yeah.
Or he could be a guy who was murdered by racist cowboys.
Research was all over the place for this subject.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Wikipedia is like the first place I go to just for like general information, but I don't ever really like jot down anything from it. I use it as a starting point. The Wikipedia pages for the Goatmen are terrible.
Yeah,
they're like less than a paragraph.
Yeah.
I'm like, what even is this? Why is this even a thing?
They're like, he's part man, part goat. He
That's
might even
all
be
you
part
need to know.
sheep. I don't know. What you want from us?
So then let's head
They're
to
like, you want to
Maryland.
donate to keep Wikipedia online?
Not
Oh,
with these
no.
kind of quality. Without.
Where's the quality control when you need it?
So the one in Maryland was the first one that popped up when I did a Google search. So I feel like this might be the most well-known one in Maryland. It's got a little bit more media attention, I think, because of the dog that was found decapitated, which we'll talk about.
Spoilers.
Wow, sorry. Did you want to build up to that or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was a dog, and it was a beautiful dog, and we're gonna tell you its life story, and then tell you the horrible story of how it was attacked by the Goatman.
Yeah.
So
A Dog's Tale 2 is coming out. Guess how it ends?
Goatman, played by Dennis Quaid.
So, yet again, we don't have a guaranteed, confirmed origin story for this Goatman in Maryland. But one of the most commonly held beliefs is that he was a scientist who experimented on goats at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. And as things go, an experiment backfired, yada, yada, yada. Scientists mutated into a half-man, half-goat. There's also... It's not specified who the creature actually is. Like, it could be the scientist who mutated with the goat. It was his assistant who mutated with the goat. It was a subject. It was basically a person and a goat got mixed up together.
Somebody asked the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center to see if the story was true, and then they denied it, obviously. And then they used that as evidence. They're like, yeah, they're trying to cover it up. And it's like, I don't think so.
I looked on their website, and they're like, yeah, we like to do experiments with corn. I think, oh, okay.
Yeah, they had to literally deny that this happened because there was so much
They're like, what?
rumor about it.
Some people say that he's the devil, though. Like the literal incarnation of the devil. Which,
El Diablo.
yeah.
And other people say he's just a lonely, angry goat herder who went berserk after finding his beloved goats dead due to teens tampering.
Whoa.
Teens and tinfoil masks. You know what's crazy, too, is... So the Maryland Goatman is located in Beltsville, which is where the Kentucky circus picked him up.
According to
This haunted website. But it's just kind of interesting. And apparently, too... So he's said to be located in what's called the Crybaby Bridge. That's the nickname for it in Bowie, Maryland. But it's also known as the Old Alton Bridge, which is what is the one in Texas is called Old Alton Bridge too.
Whoa.
So there's a lot of like
Really?
Yeah, and I looked it up, and it's actually their own separate bridges in their own separate counties.
Why would this one be
Is
called
it
that
spelled
though?
the exact same way?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a typo.
Yeah, so
somewhere.
I tried to see if it was a typo because there's a lot of info that crosses over
Right.
different states, but as far as I can tell, there is an Old Alton Bridge in Lake Worth, Texas,
Interesting.
and there is also the one in Bowie called Old Alton Bridge, and then Beltsville, Maryland is where Kentucky Goatman is supposed to be from. So like they're all like bleed over, which is really weird.
That is so strange.
But what's crazy too is this is like a little side note. It's called Crybaby Bridge because apparently it's also haunted because a woman and her baby drowned there.
Oh.
And you said late at night you can hear you can hear a woman talking and a baby crying. So apparently this place is haunted and has a Goatman infestation.
La Llorona.
Yeah. La Goat Rona. But did you guys want to talk about the only incident that I can find in Maryland?
Yeah, well, aside from the story that we're about to tell, the only other claims that I read about is just that Bowie residents have spotted a creature with the torso of a man, the legs of a goat, horns, and coarse body hair going like through their driveways and through their backyards and stuff. Just passing through.
This place is like backwoods country.
Yeah.
This place isn't like...
I don't see a Goatman in my backyard.
But the only thing that the only like incident that is tied to the Goatman is the death of this poor little puppy named Ginger. In 1971, this puppy, who was owned by the Edwards family, was found. Well, she went missing, and so the family went looking for her, and she was found decapitated near the train tracks. Common sense tells you she was too close to the train tracks. But the problem is, it was just the head that was found.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
body
the body
was nowhere to be found of this
They're
dog.
harvesting organs
Oh?
to grow their human-animal hybrids. Goatman is just a test run.
Yeah, we gotta call this Beltsville Research Agricultural Center and say, yo, where's Ginger's body? We want the dog body.
Stranger Things 3,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, this time it's 11 versus a goat man with an axe.
But writer Karen Hosler wrote a newspaper article as well. So the original article that came out was basically just the news story about the dog being found dead, probably because of a train.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I found some story, like, highly stylized about the discovery.
Was it super duper freaking long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they said that they found the head in a tree.
Oh,
Mm.
I
And
didn't
that
see,
it
I
was
didn't find that.
it was a teenage couple. They went up there to, to beer and sex. And then
Why would
when
have that
they
accent?
woke up in the morning, they heard a drip drip on their car,
Yeah.
and they got out and they found the head in the tree.
And there was a man
I
with a
don't know
hook for a
about
hand.
that.
Wait, what? The hash slinging,
The hash pinging, the sass singing.
It is Tuesday.
my dudes.
My dudes. But
Isn't that the day the hash slinging slasher shows up?
oh, is
Every
it?
Tuesday?
Oh no.
I'll find
And
it.
the walls are dripping green slime.
Nosferatu.
That gift's been making us round on Twitter recently.
So the article connected the dog with the Goatman, saying that a group of teenage girls, including the Edwards' daughter named April, had heard strange noises and seen a large creature on the night that the dog had disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
It was also reported that sightings of an animal-like creature that walks on its hind legs were increasing along this road, Fletchertown Road.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally it, though. That's like the only story that we have, and it's not even confirmed. But one of the boys who had found the dog, like, gave a description of it, saying that it was like 6 feet tall, walked on 2 feet, and was hairy.
Mm-hmm.
Said that it made a high-pitched sound, like a squeal. And then April, the girl who owned the dog, she's quoted as saying, "People came here and called it folklore, and the papers made us out to be ignorant hillbillies who didn't know any better. But what I saw was real, and I know I'm not crazy. Whatever it was, I believed it killed my dog."
Whoa.
Our condolences to April.
Yeah, for real.
We're gonna pour one out for Ginger. Another one lost.
But for real though, hash slinging slasher does come out every Tuesday night.
Oh, Jasmine with that SpongeBob knowledge.
Yup.
Yeah.
So we got Kentucky, Maryland, Texas.
What do they all have in common?
What
Could it be
Goatmen.
What does
a
it
goat
mean?
man?
Well, editor and publisher of Strange Magazine, Mark Chorvinsky,
Mark?
says that there's something like 900 Goatman-like incarnations roaming around the world, from Georgia all the way to Australia.
Oh, dang.
But I didn't read about any of those other ones.
Yeah, nothing came up. If you live in Georgia and or Australia, let us know about your Goatman problem at cryptidcampfirepodcast@gmail.com.
Did you guys read about any others then, or just these
I
three?
found one more. I had looked up Goatman sightings, and this one came up. Apparently, Wisconsin's got a Goatman too.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Give me the clicker and see what's on the tube.
I mean, I'm just
Way
trying
to
to
offend anyone who's from Wisconsin, Eli.
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
watch
all
the
you guys eat is
Packers.
cheese.
Cheeseheads. I'm just trying to watch the Packer game.
I'm sorry, do you have family in Wisconsin?
No,
Is that why
no,
you-
no,
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm just trying to be sensitive to our listeners.
Yeah, you know what the heck. We'll start a conversation. If you're offended by our comments about Wisconsin, you can email us at cryptidcampfirepodcast@gmail.com. Apparently, at this place, Hogsback Road has a Goatman that dates back to 1870s. He's half man, half goat. That's all it really says. It's just like, there's a Goatman in Wisconsin. Oh, and this website is called WisconsinSickness.com. The most extreme Wisconsin you've ever seen.
Well, I read about a website that apparently used to exist called Goat Links. No, for real. This guy named Josh Wimmer created the website in 1997. And,
Whoa.
but the thing is, the article that I was reading that said this fact was written in 1998, so the site had only been up for a year, or probably less than that. When this
going
guy
to Goat Links.
But listen, I tried to see if it still existed. It doesn't. I Google searched it.
He couldn't afford the domain.
But I was like, but it's funny because the article, remember, this site was established in 1997. The article that I'm reading was written in 1998, and it makes it sound like it's like it literally says Josh Wimmer created the intricate Goat Links website in early 97 and has since then watched in amazement as his cyber shrine has attracted thousands of dedicated goat heads.
Yeah.
A goat head?
They go like this in their meetings. We're goat heads for life, brah. Oh, speaking of websites, the article I found about the Texas Goatman, because it takes place in Denton, right?
Yeah.
The website was called We Didn't Do It.
Wow.
And I just want you guys to know that you can all go to hell for that paranormal website. But yeah, I think we've talked about Goatmen, Goatmen's.
What about the goat ladies?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He's just out there
Just
looking
kidding.
for a lady.
Just kidding.
The bride of Goatman. Oh, you know what? Do you guys have any facts that you'd like to throw in? Because I have one final fact.
Go for it.
So I think we'll kind of wind down this episode. So we did a poll on Instagram, and
We did.
It said, you know,
Yeah, and that's why we're doing.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
we're talking.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why we're
that's
doing
right. I knew that, I
Goatman.
knew
That's
that.
kind of a fun special episode. You guys picked Goatman for us to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, we're gonna do Goatman. So I had typed in Goatman Cryptid, and the first result was Cryptid Wikipedia. And apparently, this is my first take of Goatman. This is gonna be intense.
Oh God.
But it said Goatman is a large, half-man, half-goat creature that is known to break into people's houses and forcibly take them, man or women. So apparently, and this hasn't come up in any of the research, just Cryptid Wikipedia, he's very, very rapey.
Oh dear.
It's the entire article is just like, Goatman will rape you. He will rape your family. Lock your doors, lock your windows. Because that's all he does. And that was my first impression of Goatman, and I thought we had gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Okay, I see where you were going with that now. I was like, why are you saying this? This isn't cool. This isn't fun. This
I know, I was just like,
I'm very
oh
awkward.
boy, it's going to be a long episode. But luckily, I found other info from haunted attraction websites. So...
And we didn't do it.
So shout out to anyone who voted in that poll.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for voting. We definitely would love to do the other cryptid.
Alex, don't vote next time.
Yeah, I voted in our too, just because I was worried that no one voted.
But thank you for interacting with us.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us to know that anybody cares at all.
Yeah, no,
And
it's great
wants
to get
to
some
have-
feedback from people who
Yeah.
listen. We definitely, would love to do another kind of poll. We'll pick 2 random cryptids again. Maybe let you guys tell us what you want us to hear.
Tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah, you know what? I think we'll kind of close this episode.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Alex Daikaiju. You can find me at Twitter at Alex Daikaiju, DAIKAIJU. You can definitely tweet me about cryptids, Godzilla movies, video games. I'm down to talk. And if I wanted to reach you...
You can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram. My handles for both of those social media websites are at Jasmine Maywith. That's JasmineMaewith.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, fella?
I'm Eli Watson. You can find me at EJ Workshop on Twitter.
Yeah, and let us know. Oh, sorry.
No, you're still talking.
I'm still talking, apparently. Yeah, and let us know if you found us
Via
Twitter or the podcast, right?
But
Jasmine has a really nice spiel that she says, and I tried to steal it, but I don't remember what she says half the time. So Jasmine, take it away.
If you do follow us on any of our social media sites, just let us know that you found us through the podcast. Sometimes we get followers, and that's great and dandy, but we don't know where they came from. Are they random people who just happened to come across us? Are they somebody who have similar interests? Are they somebody who follow our podcast?
Is it the Dell support team because you made a tweet one time?
So yeah, just give us a shout out. Let us know, hey, I'm following you guys because I listen to your podcast. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know. It's cool to see our following grow. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for everybody. We'll definitely see you next week when we talk about something weird and wacky. So have a good night, everybody. Look out for Goatman, and we'll see you next week.
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Bye.